Talk with Jane from Boston, listening on or watching on WEZE. Hi there.
Hi.
Jane, how are you today?
I'm alive. I can't complain. I'm here, still here, so
Well,
good.
okay, that doesn't sound like
Okay,
you're
I'm alive?
you're excited.
I'm alive and I can't. Most people who complain are alive, actually. So that one doesn't rule out the other one.
Yeah. All right,
Well,
Jane.
I could be underground. I could be dead somewhere, I don't know,
Yeah.
limping around. But
Yeah.
so sometimes you just got to be thankful just to be, just having another day to breathe, and then maybe go from there. And
Well,
then get to the
Well,
other.
sometimes we say that when there's not much else
Yeah.
going on that
Right.
we feel thankful for because things are hard. So are things hard?
Well, yeah, things are hard. I'm a single mom. We're separated, and but I thank God because my kids are doing good in school. And I want to increase my, search my career and just getting to know more of myself right now. So, everything's okay.
Well, I bet you have a question for us.
I do.
Okay.
And my question is, when is it time to say goodbye, enough is enough in a relationship?
All right.
Depends on the relationship and depends
And
on what you
the
had enough
issues.
of.
Yeah.
And I think it also means, it also depends on what goodbye actually means. Does it mean goodbye for a while or it's over? We'll talk about all of that after this. You're listening to New Life Live. We're back. Talking with Jane. Her question was, when is it time to say goodbye? Jane, you're separated. Why are you separated?
Well, I was married for about 5 years, and the person whom I married is not, he's a different person from the world. So what you see at home is not what you see out in the world.
Now, before you got married, did you see any of that in him?
I saw a little bit of that, but it wasn't really, he was a little bit angry, but none of that, it was not like what I expected.
You didn't see the degree of
Right.
it.
Right.
Yeah,
Which is why we tell people,
when I got married, it showed.
we tell people that best foot is forward, and that next foot there is pretty ugly. And so you gotta. Were you with him a long time?
No, I wasn't actually, and I blame myself for that.
How long did you date before you got married?
Wow, almost maybe 6 months, maybe a year.
Well, there's a big difference between 6 months and a year.
Know that?
Say that again?
There's a big difference between 6 months and 1 year. And Henry said, "Why
Yeah,
wouldn't you
No,
know that?"
Oh, well, actually, see, I say 6 months to a year because I first got to know the person through someone else, but just cordially and getting to know that person. And then the reason why we got married, it wasn't for the basis of love, according to what I believe it was, is because we had sex outside of marriage, and so we had a child together. And so he wanted to get married. And I thought this was okay, you want to do it right, instead of living in sin, and I did it. But, boy, I wish.
Yeah. Okay. So what's he doing now? His anger, how does that show itself?
Well, his anger is more so like he's more of a controlling person. It's his way or no way. And he's very verbally abusive. We had separated. I mean, we had a restraining order, and because it was just got too far.
A restraining? Whoa, just stop. You had a restraining order on him?
Yes.
And why did the court grant a restraining order?
Because they granted the restraining orders because when they actually had to come and take him from the home. I just came home, and the next thing you know, I wasn't able to get back into my home, and so
that's really. Can you be more specific? That's really vague. What did he do that they had to take him from the home for?
Well, he was verbal and physically abusive in the home.
Physically.
Now let's talk about that. He hit you?
Yes.
How bad?
I can fight myself off, so
you evade the answer. How hard or how bad did he hit you?
He made scratches in my body. Pressure, pushing you down on the floor, and just forcing himself.
And where was your child through all this?
In another room.
Another room. In the house, though.
Yes.
And so you guys are separated now, and there's a current restraining order against him.
No, the current restraining order was lifted.
Why did they lift
Because he went
it?
and got help?
Well, it was. I wanted him to continue to see his child, and so and I didn't want what happened between him and I to affect his relationship.
Well, okay, so let me just, for a point of education, if anybody is in that situation, what they need to do is they need to tell the person, I don't want our situation to interfere with the relationship with our child. I want you to see our child. I want you to go get some help so that then you can be trusted with me and our child.
Okay.
I mean, what is the hope if he's never gotten help for the anger and rage that is inside? What's the hope there? There wouldn't be any hope, I don't think.
Right.
And if you're gone, then it gets taken out on the child.
So now you haven't required that of him, but now you're wanting to leave him, right?
No, we're separated. I just wanted to know.
Well, your question was when should you say goodbye? So I'm thinking you're wanting to permanently
file
leave.
for divorce, but
you're wanting to leave him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would think that there would be some things in between there. Does he want a relationship with you, or is he done?
We thought that was something that we were going to do, and that we wanted. After prayer and asking others for wisdom, I thought so. But then that side came up again. But it wasn't. There was no physical. It was the verbal.
Because he's never gotten help for that.
So, Jane, it seems I get the feeling that you come across very nonchalant about your life and about these circumstances, and you kind of fall into things. And we got pregnant, so we got married, and but I hear your words saying that you regret that. But it's kind of like you're easily influenced, and it's hard for you to make a decision. Now, I realize we are hearing things that we're really alarmed by.
And also, Jill, one of the things I'm hearing, Jane, is that term easily influenced. I hear you easily influencing yourself out of negative realities. Like,
as soon as he's
like you
nice,
then go back to the beginning of the call. How's it going? Oh, it's good.
At least I'm alive.
I got alive, and I got a.
Like your standards aren't very high,
yeah,
Jane.
You've got a restraining order husband, right? And all this stuff going on. We really feel for you, but what I'm kind of really aware of, we're feeling for you more than you're feeling for you.
Well, actually, I feel for myself. So let me stick up for me.
Okay,
there you go.
Good.
Like to see that.
It's just that because where I am right now, I'm a single mom, but yet, and I want to work. I'm looking for a job, and there's so many things that I'm doing, trying to work, maybe even also going back to school. All those things that I'm doing. So it's just like, okay, instead of being more depressed or maybe stick something in my mouth, why don't I see the good?
Okay.
I could. So that's why I explained.
There is some value to that. But when you're calling people and asking for help, you wouldn't tend to gloss over things. You might have said, when we said, how are things going? Well, how would you feel if you had married someone that beat you and slammed you to the floor, and you have a child together, and he's in the house when this happened, and you're unemployed, and you feel desperate, and you don't know what to do? See, that's really kind of your situation right now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So we just want you
feel free
Wait,
to
how
feel
did that
free.
feel, Jane, to hear Steve say it that way?
It's the truth. It hurts, but okay.
Well,
I've learned that I have to take the truth and then deal with it.
Well, here's what I'm after, and the reason I brought this up is that there is a trigger that God put in all of us of protest. And if something is not right, we begin to feel distressed, and we protest it, and we stand up against what isn't right, and that's how we resolve problems and, have an immune function in our lives. If you would grab your left thumb with your right hand and begin to squeeze it very hard, the harder you squeeze and the harder you squeeze, you're going to get to a point where you're going to go, ouch, I'm going to stop squeezing. You would protest out of pain. And sometimes when people have the capacity to minimize their pain, then it allows others to go further in treating them certain ways than if they protested earlier on. So I'm trying to awaken in you the protest function. You follow me?
Yes.
And so what we would want you to do, I think, is in this situation, stand up and protest. Just take the divorce question off the table for a second, and stand up and protest and say, look, I've been thinking about this. I want a good marriage, and I want us to be connected, and I do not want to be fighting off anger. I don't want to be fighting off physical abuse. I don't want to be fighting off this and this and this.
Mm-hmm. And I want to be able to respect whom I'm married to.
Yeah, you
Right.
want to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so before we get back together, here are the requirements for getting back together. And it's like getting help and make that verifiable, and that he's in a process and you guys are getting some help together, and where the trust is earned. So he's got to earn your trust back.
Well,
So
I accept.
Jane, I'm sorry, doing some things for the long-term good instead of, well, he was nice today, so maybe he'll be nice tomorrow, and just settling for nice, intermittently mixed in with the anger. And really for your child, because to have an angry, abusive dad, that's not a real healthy relationship for a child to grow up in.
Mm-hmm.
So better if his dad were away from him for a while getting help and came back more of a whole person.
Okay, so is there a question that we could specifically answer for you there?
Did we not answer the question?
Well, so I totally get what you're saying, and I accept it. It's just that when we had tried to get back together, long after this has happened, I stated, this is how I feel. This is when you do this. I don't want to go through this.
Right.
If
Okay.
we're going to do it God's way, this is what the Word of God says for us to do. Then what I did when we were apart is I would listen to, single ministries and married ministries to get an idea of a picture of what a marriage is supposed to look like.
Right.
I mean, every marriage is different
Right.
in its own aspect. Nonetheless, I did all of that, and being that I was a single mother ahead of time, what blended family should look like, what I should be doing.
And you know what I'm thinking here is, it's like you were learning how to paint a picture, when what you got to do first is learn how to put the brush and mix it with the paint. In other words, this picture of a marriage that you're looking at and all these things won't happen unless you require something of him to restore the intimate relationship that you want to have.
Right.
And what I was hearing all that is all the things that you're doing, okay? But it takes two to paint that picture. And so I would want him to be going and seeing how healthy families do it. Go and see what the Bible says about having a good marriage. And the requirements we're talking about are the stance. So a separation actually is a separation that has healing and growth in it, not just a relief from pain. So there's got to be some requirement for him to be doing some things. And Jill is just ready to say something.
Jane, I just think that it's evident that a lot of things happen kind of backwards for you. And so I think perhaps some help in prioritizing what needs to come first. And part of what we're telling you is some changes need to be made with him first and foremost for you to have anything moving forward.
So
Well,
you have to.
For me, I'm not trying to move forward because the last thing that was done really kind of pushed me off the edge and said, "That's it."
Okay,
Okay.
but here's my thing, and here's what we want you to hear. You have allowed him to not do anything except try harder. And as you
Or be
process
nicer.
this call, you might think about, I wonder what the result would be if I made a little suggestion to him that we might still be able to pull this together if he would get some help, or we would get some help
Jane,
together.
I think you need to, maybe with the help of someone else, list your minimum requirements.
Yeah.
Okay? Then you give those to him, and then it's up to him. You go about your business, doing what you need to do as a single mom and moving forward in that way. But that's what you require, and you need to be aware of what those would be.